Hello everybody, it's me, TONIK TZW, here in Division with Shannon McClint in the Duke of York and Breckland in the Algerie, and I'm in the Jervis, the British, I think it's a tier 6, correct me if I'm wrong, British destroyer. We're here on Neighbours, we're out in Division, and yeah, this is going to turn into one of those games where it's impossible for us to do absolutely everything. But we spawn on the right flank. We've got a lot of little islands there. There's only one destroyer in the game, and obviously that's me for our team. We'd much rather be towards the centre, so we found it unusual that we got spawned on a flank, because normally when we play in Division we always tend to get the centre of the map, or like the centre cap and B cap. But we decide to push out and spot on this flank, and we're going to keep an eye on what the rest of the team are doing, because they're not going to be doing a lot apart from sinking, to be honest. And it doesn't mean that we're the greatest players, but it certainly doesn't mean that we're the worst. I think there's a lot of bad decisions made in this one, and well, hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it? But we can only do what we can do. So rather than push straight out into all those cruisers, I'm going to cut across behind this rock as well and get into that little spot between the two islands where there's some open water, and we can try to counter a push by red team. We've got one ship from the centre is pushing out to the left, and there are two ships coming our way, which means that the middle of the map is quite open at the moment. We've had no sight of red team's destroyer as of yet, so we're just playing cautiously. You'll see that I'm not located, which leads me to believe that the destroyer is not over here. That Duker obviously has those really slow long range torpedoes, so that's why I'm running my sonar. And we're just getting ready, thinking, do we push, do we stay, do we extend on the flank and see if we can break down these guys? But looking across to the left, if we push out too far, we will be putting ourselves into a crossfire. Duke is kiting away. Colorado is hiding behind a rock, which isn't unusual in Legends, is it really? But ideally it would be great if the battleships could get rid of some of those cruisers, but that is going to be wishful thinking, unfortunately. If you can't tell by the tone of my voice, it's because we were wholly disappointed in the outcome of this game. But it isn't going to be a bad game in its entirety. We are going to do what we can to try and pull a victory. It might be futile to attempt that given what goes on, because there goes our Duker to the Mackinson, and we have got one ship sat there in the middle on our cap, and there's the Colorado. He's in torpedo range, and we are pushing this flank, but it's getting very, very dangerous. Breck and Clint are trying to hold fire there, because they have been the focus of attention for the majority of these ships out here, and I'm just trying to screen for them, pushing out, keeping as much spotted as I can for the team. And it's not working out really. We are only one ship down. Well, we were only one ship down. We're two ships down now, because their Mackinson has just taken out another one of our cruisers. And if there's any indication that you need to be focus firing on a ship, you need to be looking at the guy who is picking up all the kills. So we land one torpedo and a flood on the Colorado. He's got a fire on him. That's another torpedo. we pick up the kill. So we open the scoring on 4.5 minutes, but we lose our Mackinson as well. So we've only killed one ship for them killing 3. And it's at this point in the game I'm looking, and the left flank is collapsing. The guy that was sat in the middle of the map has come across this way. I think he's possibly getting pressured a little bit too much. And I'm saying, guys, we're probably going to have to turn around and defend our cap, because it is just failing on the left-hand side. And I'm quite certain that they have got their destroyer out there too. It isn't looking good, really, is it? There's nothing worse than having to turn tail when you consider how kind of strong that force was across there. This Andoria did have a flanking fire there out onto the left. It's still pretty much full health, but it's turned tail and run away, and the Leon is heading this way as well. The New Orleans, which was the only ship that was sort of hanging on across there, no support from these two guys here, who just turned tail and ran away and left him. And he's gone to the destroyer, so now it's very obvious that the destroyer is out on that flank. We can see where he was last spotted, and they're not very far from our cap. There is still only a single kill for blue team. It is the one that I picked up earlier. We have lost 4 ships. We're now 250 points behind. This is going to take some pulling back. All we can hope is that those 2 battleships that have come across this way can put some pressure onto those cruisers out there. But again, is it going to be wishful thinking? I am going to push out as hard and as fast as I can. Remember, the Jervis does not have engine boost. It is quite agile, but without engine boost, it always feels that you're at a little bit of a disadvantage, because sometimes that little bit of extra speed is worth its weight in gold. So we got the Mackinson spotted. We know that the Sinop is here towards the center of the map. There he is. He's low health as well. So the cruisers that were across here, they appear to have been doing, quite a decent job of bringing these guys down. I'm running in between the Sinop and the Mackinson, and there's still a destroyer out here, so there's a chance that I can be putting myself in between 2 flank fires from both the Sinop and the Mackinson. So we're keeping a very close eye on our range ring, and making sure that we stay between these 2 guys. We've lost one of our battleships. I'm not sure if that was the Andrea or the Leon, but we're trying to sort of keep our head on a swivel. The enemies are capturing the base. There it is. It is Red Team's destroyer. There's a Queen Elizabeth pushing in too. Mackinson goes down there to Breckland. I've got torpedoes running on the Sinop, and we're going to try and do what we can to close down this Benham and get rid of him, because if we can get him off our cap, then we can turn back and put our attention back against those guys. That was a sweet deal on those torpedoes. He was low health. He was an easy kill. It was cheap and cheerful, but running sort of bow into that island, he was going to have to back up. So we've gone guns now onto the Benham. We're going to keep chipping away here, doing what we can, and we are sort of really the focus of attention here, because we are the last ship standing. It is our division that is left, and we are going up against, well, it was 6 ships, it's now 5. So how are we doing here? We're not doing very well, are we? This Queen Elizabeth is pretty much full health, and Shannon and Breckland are they're taking the punches here, and there is still 1, 2, 3 cruisers out there on the right flank. So let's see what we can do about helping Shannon and Breck out here and get on to this Queen Elizabeth, because it's punchy. It's very punchy. We've only got one rack of torpedoes available. There we go. As soon as we target it, it starts to turn. I think she's going to try and get all our guns on, but we get spotted momentarily by the aeroplane. The Queen Elizabeth has now damage controlled the fires that were on there. We've got one rack of torpedoes running. We've got smokes available, but what are we going to be able to do here? It's a losing battle. It's 2 versus 5. How are those torpedoes looking? Do we get a hit? Are we going to get 1? Are we going to get 2? We get 2 hits. We get 1 flood, and that flood is ticking, because obviously that damage con on the fires has left them vulnerable. So we're going to try and add to that pain with a fire from the main guns and just see if we can chip this Queen Elizabeth away. There's a fire, so even if that flood was going to be fixed, we're going to keep the pressure on, and that is kill number 3 for me, and it's actually kill number 5 for the division. So literally 6 other ships that were in this game have not been able to do anything. It is our division that has picked up all the kills, and this is not a good situation to be in, because we have 4 cruisers running us down. The shores, you can put a commander on that. As you can see, I'm located, so I imagine it's the shores that has got me located. He's going to be able to run me down for the 3 other ships. Those 3 other ships are running pretty much line astern down the side of the map, and at this point I'm thinking I can run for the cap, and I'm thinking, well, no, because if they get 3 ships on cap, we're going to lose anyway. There isn't time to do anything here. I need to see if I can distract the shores or any of the other ships, but we want those torpedoes to run, see what they do before we open fire with our guns. That's kill number 4. 3 cruisers left. Red team are on our cap, and they are absolutely wailing on our BB. And as I said, we were fighting a losing battle, because I'm looking up there and I don't think that there was anything that Shannon could do, because that was just not survivable. 4 cruisers focusing 1 ship. I managed to get rid of 1 of them, but 3 cruisers in our cap, that's fish in a barrel. They want the win. They've got the win, but they're not going to have it easy. We're only on 78,000 damage, but we've managed to pick up 4 kills. And I think Shannon, I can't remember if it was Shannon or Breck, has picked up the other 2. And it's games like this that leave you shaking your head, wondering what on earth the rest of the team were doing. When you look, there was 2 ships that came against us that were very low health. Learn to focus fire a ship, you know, as we do. If you've watched me play live stream, if you've heard me talk through a game, I'm always looking at what's going on with ships, keeping an eye out for damage controls and things like that, so that the guys can get fires or floods back on them. But we are going to pick up a Kraken, and that Algerie there looks like it's going to take some more torpedoes for a 6-pack, but the Le Galicianaire and I forgot what it was that I just sang for the Kraken. He's obviously got those spotted, so the Algerie is going to start moving. I've got 55 seconds on a torpedo reload. There's a minute left in the game. Unless I'm parked up beside those guys, we're not going to be able to get a torpedo run on them again. We have managed to close the gap a little bit, But there is one little thing that we can do here, and that's to farm a few cap resets. There we go. A triple cap reset on the Le Galicianaire. We'll put some more fire at him. The Algerie chips in, and so we got to sail out of the smoke, because it's obvious that that's where they think I am, and they would just continue to blind fire that. But what I was hoping is that one or the other would actually sail out of the capture point. But here we go. Algerie's in range. We're looking at the clock with seconds to spare. It seems to be that the Algerie knows where I am. Is he going to sail out of the cap? Let's just put some more fire on him as well. We'll farm the XP. We may as well, because it's all credits. The clock runs down. We take the defeat, and it is an absolutely bitter defeat when you consider how that game played out. You'll see that the Andrea Doria, the guy who ran from the center of the map to the side, he rage quit. 7 kills for the division. It was Breck who picked up the other 2 kills. That was cracking 143 for me, but it wasn't a very enjoyable cracking. So we don't all play perfect games, and sometimes we have to have a miserable one like that. So give me a like just to cheer me up, leave me a comment, subscribe if you hadn't, and take care of yourselves. Until next time, goodbye.